Welcome to Women Should Know, the podcast and online show that dives into conversations that every woman needs to hear. From career to confidence, relationships, and real life wisdom, we're keeping it unfiltered, raw, and real. I'm Nicole Hurst. Let's get into it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Women Should Know podcast and show. I'm here with Jill Serafina. She is a massage therapist, a sound healer, spirituality coach, Reiki master, and shaman. And we are going to be focusing today on sound therapy. So welcome, Jill.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I love this topic and I could talk forever about it.
I'm so excited to have you. And I said this the very first time we met, you have such a good energy. So I'm very happy to have you here talking with all of our people. So Jill, for those who are unfamiliar, what is sound healing and how does it work?
Yeah, sound healing is, I honestly consider it a low-hanging fruit when it comes to self-care and mental health and so many things. Our bodies are made up mostly of water, and water is such a good conduit for vibrations. And there are healing vibrations and non-healing vibrations. And I'm just passionate about spreading the point and purpose of having intentfully adding healing vibrations into your life. Because just like we can take vitamins to supplement our nutritional intake, we need tools and intentional things to supplement our frequencies. Because the difference between wellness and disease is honestly just frequency of the cells of the organ. If you're low vibrating, if it's not operating at its highest vibrations, then it's not performing optimally. And just like in an orchestra, if the violin section is off, the rest of the whole music piece is just gonna be off. And just like with a piano, when it's out of tune, we don't just rip out the offending chords. We don't just do surgery or just pop a pill. We literally can just tune it back to where it needs to be. And so that's why I'm just so passionate. It's holistic, it's immediate, it's effective. I love sound healing so much. And sometimes it is called vibrational medicine because that's literally what it is. But the street name is sound healing. Yeah.
That's awesome. How often do you recommend people do sound healing?
Every day. We are constantly, our vibrations, I look at it like a bank account, right? And so we're constantly putting in deposits and we're also constantly making withdrawals. And so we have to make sure that we are in the positive in order to have the health, in order to have vitality. Because just like I was saying, if we get too low, then that's where the disease starts to come in. And so our vibrations can get affected by a myriad of things, including like our environments. So if we are constantly around Bluetooth and 5G, like that's already like impacting us on an energetic level.
Yeah.
The food we eat, if we're constantly eating canned, processed, dead food, like fast food, just so many things, like those are going to be constant withdrawals. But if we're eating like healthy, organic, raw, just alive food, I joke that like food that has touched the sunshine is considered a live food, and that's going to have a higher frequency. Therefore, that will be like a deposit, good in the bank, right? The people we surround ourselves with, the media we consume, even our thoughts have a frequency to them. They have a vibration. This is scientifically proven. I'm not just talking like woo here. This is honestly like why I love sound healing, because it does cover the emotional, the spiritual, the woo, and it is also based in science, and there's so much evidence and it's facts, and just I love it so much. But
That's very like all encompassing.
I know. But like our thoughts honestly have frequency. So if we're constantly like being critical, like especially like of our bodies or just all these things, like if we're having just like negative, pessimistic type thoughts, those are negative vibrations. And so it's bringing our overall bank account pretty low, right?
Yeah.
And so that's another thing. Like, so I love having tuning forks. So when I was saying like you can do sound healing every single day, tuning forks are one of the best ways to do that. I keep one next to my bedside table because I just love to wake up in the morning and I just start my day. Like this is honestly like how I wake up. And it just gets me going and I love it. And I'll just keep saying it is natural and holistic. And I love because when we take a pill or like a medicine, A, there can be side effects. B, it's usually like man-made. But you also have to wait for it to kick in. That's like why I love like my crystal singing bowls. Like the second you start singing it, our bodies like whoop, come alive. And they're like, yes, more please. I'm like, I
Tell
love
us
it.
more about the tuning fork, because my next question was going to be like, you said daily. So like how people can bring that into their day. I actually thought it always had to be going to someone that could help us with that. So tell us a little bit more about like a tuning fork or something that we could actually do personally ourselves. That way, if we don't have time to go see someone, how would we bring that into our day?
Yeah, absolutely. I sell tuning forks in my office, and on Saturdays I spend my Saturdays like at conventions, conferences, farmers markets and stuff just selling tuning forks just to get them out to the masses because they're not expensive and they're durable and they're portable. And so that's my favorite thing because I was first introduced to vibrational medicine with a singing bowl. I was in a yoga studio, and at the end, we were just laying there, and the teacher just walked around, just donged a bowl, and just walked around singing it. And my soul came alive. I literally sat up and I was like, what is that? And how do I get one? Like, my body, it was like everything I always needed but never knew. Like, you don't know what you don't know.
Right,
But like
exactly.
I was exposed to it, and my body, it was like a drink of water in the desert. I was like, what is that? And so then that started my whole like researching, like getting the instruments and all the things. And so crystal singing bowls are like my original love,
Yeah.
but they're so fragile. They are so heavy. You can't take them anywhere. If you look at them wrong, they can break. And just they stay in my office. So then when I got trained, I fell in love with the drum, and the drum is amazing. It can do so many different things. And then my third instrument that I super have fallen in love with, and now is my main passion, are the tuning forks. And I'm sorry, what was even your question? Was it just what are tuning forks?
It was just
I'm
like,
just
yeah,
so
like
obsessed.
how it works, and then like
I know.
how we could bring that
Perfect.
into like our
Yes.
daily
Okay, great.
routine.
With the tuning forks, they come in two different kinds. There's weighted, which is this kind because it has like the two knobs on it.
Yep.
And then there's non-weighted, and it looks the same. It just doesn't have the knobs. So it's just like smooth, like up top.
And do you have
And
a preference? I know you showed me the weighted one. Is that what you
I know I
recommend?
don't have one right now because I'm in my bedroom. They're all in my
Okay.
office, but this is the one I use in my bedroom, and I like
Okay.
wake up with every day. But the non-weighted, you can dong them together, and I think they're amazing for adding movement. So you can either have a hockey puck that you strike it onto if you just have a singular one, but they're great for if you have stuck, stagnant energy. And so I love to use them if I need to get going. If depression is a great example for that, or if I'm having pain, because pain is honestly just a hairball of sorts of energy sitting right there. And so I can dong my forks, point it in and pull it out and just start energetically, because everything is energetic before it's physical. Everything. So if you have a physical ailment, that's literally just your body telling you that something is off. And so we address majority of the time physical ailments with something energetic. So that's also why I love the tuning forks and the sound healing. But then back to the weighted forks, these are amazing for if your energy is all over the place and just calling it all back in and becoming grounded and centered. So I like to equate it to almost like going from octopus mode to squid. Like
Okay.
I just love it so much. I know. There are so many uses for it. I do teach like little mini classes and stuff on it, but
Okay. And because our audience, most of us are still in Utah, but I have people who are coming in from other places. Do you teach those classes online? Is that something you do in person?
I do. I have pre-recorded classes that you can
Oh,
purchase,
cool.
and then I can just email it to you, and you can just watch it on your own time. But
Perfect. Okay. Perfect.
sound
I'll
healing is
share a link to
honestly,
that
it's
at
just
the end.
yeah, no, you're so fine. I was gonna say sound healing is just so easy, fast, and effective, and it's accessible to everyone. We're not gatekeeping this in any shape or form. We're trying to spread. Well, I'll go door knocking and just be like, "Hey, have you heard of sound healing?" Like that's how passionate about I am because it just works, and it's
Yeah.
been amazing. My mental health is just amazing. My physical health has improved. Spirituality. There's just so many things. There's so many quotes for how vibrational medicine is going to be like the medicine of the future and things like that. And it's like, that's honestly the medicine of ancient times. And it somehow got lost. And like now it's making a comeback. And I am obsessed. I love
I love that. How long? So I know you've been a massage therapist for longer. I think that was your first holistic.
correct. Yeah. I've been massage therapy for about 16 years.
Okay.
And then I became a Reiki master probably 6 years ago. And then sound healing probably 5 years ago. And then I've been a shaman for 3 years.
I love that. So you've been doing the sound healing for quite some time now. It's fairly new into like my realm. Like I've only even known about it for maybe a year, Maybe all the time I found you. That's about the time
It's
I
so fair.
learned. Uh, I love that. I was going to ask how to do it at home. So I know you've already talked about the science and how it impacts our emotional and mental health. I love it. Okay, let's see what else I had on here to talk to you about.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we want to get more sciencey on it, there's two terms that how and why it is effective and like how and why it does work on our bodies. It's entrainment and sympathetic resonance. Entrainment is when one object is in motion and one object is not in motion. But then when you start yeah, I'm trying to think. So like with the tuning forks and stuff, I can dong it and then it can bring things like online. So, for example, in my office, I have like my singing bowls and my gong and everything, and I can laugh at a specific pitch or something, and then my gong will start to sing because like, it's so funny. It like
The
makes me so
frequency
happy
like
when it
hits it.
happens. I
Yeah.
know, I love it. And then the other one is sympathetic resonance. And so that is when two objects are already in motion, but just like not in sync, but then eventually they'll start to be in sync. This can be observed with flocks of geese. They will, in their V shape, their wings are flapping together. Pendulums on of the clock, like if you have a wall full of clocks, you can just scatter all the pendulums, and within an hour, all of the pendulums will be swinging together because just laws of nature that it's easier to be in sync with each other than in opposition. It's just the easier route. And
Yeah.
so it also is very observed when you're around females and your cycles sync up. That is literally sympathetic resonance. Like it's science, it's an energy thing. There's everything has a vibration, even our uteruses. And so it's easy to get other uteruses to match up. And then the uteruses are flowing
Insane.
together.
Uh,
Science.
I love it. Well, what are some of the biggest transformations that you have seen when people have started using sound therapy?
Oh, I see a myriad of them. So in my office, I combine my modalities. The most popular thing that I offer is a Reiki sound healing massage. And like I said, everything is energetic before it's physical. And so if you have a physical ailment, I then kind of work backwards. I'm like, okay, if your left ankle is acting up, then I'm going to start to look at your mother issues, right? Or something like that. And so I love that I can use the sound tools to then track where that is sitting. Is it emotional? Is it mental? Is it spiritual? Or is it actual physical? I'm not saying nothing. If you bang your head on the wall, you will have an ailment from a physical reaction, right? That's not
Yeah.
always something energetic or spiritual going on behind the scenes, but a lot of the times it is. And so I love being able to release trapped emotions or like finding a cord that is still keeping you tied to your ex so you can't move on. And there's just so many things in the energetic realm that I love using my tools to either help me find, help me like disconnect, help me heal. I just use them in like a myriad of ways. And
I love that. Oh, that's awesome. I feel like you're answering all my questions. So, talk to me a little bit. I know this wasn't, we were just going to focus on the sound healing stuff, but talk to me a little bit about like the Reiki and how that works.
yeah, what I just explained. When I became a Reiki master and then also when I became a shaman, each of those trainings just opened up more and more gifts for me. And so I do have the claircognizance, clairsentience, and clairvoyance, which is clear knowing, clear seeing, and clear feeling. And with I can feel in your body, like when your body makes a shift or like when it releases, I feel it in my body. Or I can feel in my body like where you're hurting. Like that's a fun gift. With the clear seeing, that one is fun because I can see sometimes your body parts will glow like where you need attention. I can see animal spirits that and ancestors and whatnot, like your support team, like when they're like in the room with us. I'm just okay. For example, I had one person who she actually just yesterday, I had a friend reach out and she's, hey, I need some help. And I could see that she had a beaver animal spirit with her and a honeybee as well. And I was like, okay, so the beaver is all about laying a firm foundation. Like you need to get your things in order. And then the honeybee is all about how sweet results are about to come. But so I was like, you need to get your things in order and build strong, solid foundations. And then you'll be able to start to reap the sweet results from it and stuff. But
Yeah.
like you can't go out of order and you can't just like all these different things. And so we were able to, that was more of a spirituality coach session, but we were
Yeah.
able to talk through it. But I just love being able to see
Yeah.
like who's showing up and who's supporting you.
I love that. When you're talking about being able to see like when someone's in pain, I have a massage therapist and I've always said this like about her. I'm like, she knows where I hurt. She just knows how to get in there. So maybe she has some of that too. I haven't had that conversation with her, but yeah, I feel like whenever I go and she's like the person who massages me, like I just feel so much better after I leave than when I have someone else. So
Yes.
no, I love that.
I personally would never get a massage from someone who isn't also tuned in Reiki, just because like I do want that like energetic component being
Yeah.
added to it.
Yeah.
And I have a client who always teases that my elbows are like heat sinking missiles. She's always just like know where to go. And I'm like, it's so intuitive. And I love it.
That's awesome. Is that something that's becoming more common, like within the massage industry? Are people asking that question as they're booking people? I know you've been doing it for a while, so I didn't know if it was common
I
knowledge that
see
you
it
do it or
just
if
'cause
people are
maybe
seeking
it's
you
in
out.
my like field of recognition, but like I do see it. It is often. But also there are like sports medicine type people that's totally needed too.
Well, yeah,
It
yeah,
just
yeah,
depends. Yeah, there's like the time in the season. It's just like the Eastern Western medicine. I think there's room for both. We need both.
yeah,
But yeah, you can't let your pendulum swing too far either way.
yeah, yeah,
But I just feel we do need to have awareness that like what's out there and what is available so you can make the best decision of what you're needing.
yeah, yeah. No, I love that. Cute. Okay. Is there anything else you want to share with our audience?
I just being aware of what your frequencies are doing. Pay attention to what frequencies you're being surrounded by. So, like what you're absorbing, and pay attention to what frequencies you're giving out. Because even if I was on a dating podcast a couple of months ago and I talked about this. I'm like, you have to be aware when you show up on a date, what energy you're giving out. Because people are going to be subconsciously picking up
Yeah.
what energies you're bringing. And so I always try to just be like happier, brighter, and lighter. Those are the vibes I try to give out. Because if you're pessimistic inside your mind, but you fake it with a smile, it's like people are still picking up that underlying current of that energy. Because
Well, and
we
then I think it's
subconsciously,
almost, what are you hiding? I feel like you can tell something's being hid, whether that's something
yeah.
small or something major, especially like on a first and second date, like what is
And
really
being
going
energy
on.
sensitive, I do struggle in the dating realm because I can tell when you're lying. I can tell when you're hiding something. I can tell. There was even one time I was like at church and I was like flirting with a guy. And I was like, do you have a headache? And he's, I do. I have a pounding headache. How'd you know? And I could see this dagger in his
Oh,
head. I was
no.
like, cute. Let me pull that for you. Like, it's just so funny. I don't know. It's a thing. So yeah, that's just be aware of the energy that you're giving off because you are constantly giving off an
Yeah.
energy. Just pay attention to that
Yeah.
for sure. And
No,
just try to clean up your environment as much as you can.
yeah. I have a lady I'm talking to. I think she's 2 weeks after ours, and it's about dating in your 40s, and she recommends not actually dating. I don't know the ins and outs yet, so stay tuned because
Oh
I
my
haven't
God, I
had
can't
the
wait for that.
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. But I also have, I don't know, I have a lot of like younger people in my life, and I feel like they're like pining to get married, and I'm like, I feel like that's not a good energy if you want to get married. So yeah, I feel like there's just
desperation is very easy to feel off of someone.
yeah.
Yep. So you have to be comfortable with yourself. I have a phrase of tune in order to tune up because I do think it's like I'm very big into spirituality and how there's just a balance and like I am still like active LDS and so I do preach some organized religion, like take it or leave it, but there is something about having the community aspect of it. And then also with spirituality, you have to have that personalized relationship with a source that's bigger than you, right? And I think it's very important. And that's how we stay grounded is by having community and also being anchored above and below. And it just makes a big difference. And you can tell when people are intentional with their mindset and with their energy, you can just feel it off of them for sure.
Yeah. And I would agree. And I feel like having the spirituality, because I know a lot of people who, we live in Utah. So I know a lot of people who are LDS. I know a lot of people who aren't LDS. And the ones who are still spiritual, even if they're not LDS, whether they're still in a community of church, I feel like their energy is better when they have a higher belief. And whether that, whoever you look up to, I think it's important to know that we're not God. Like you're not everything to everybody. Like you're a person. And yeah, I feel like it's grounding to just to believe in something. So
Yeah, like whatever it means for you, like you need
yeah,
community and you need a higher power. So like what those look like for you, like those are going to show up in different forms for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, I love it. I do like coach people through like their faith transitions is what I call it.
uh-huh,
Like whether you're staying or going, like I just help you be your best self in
yeah,
whatever format that looks like.
yeah. I love that. Do you? This is so off topic.
I
Do you
know you're good. I love it.
do you find that hard as someone who is religious in a specific religion? Do you find it hard to help people transition to or from?
No, because
Okay.
there's countless scriptures about how God wants us to be happy. So if you're unhappy in a situation, let's fix and adjust to
Yeah.
be where you can have your highest vibration. Because if you're sitting in low vibrations because you feel guilt, shame, stuck, held back, whatever that is looking, let's unpack that. And then at the end result, I'm not attached to what end results look like other than from a vibrational standpoint. And so whether you decide to stay or go, we make whatever adjustments need to occur to help you be at your highest vibration. And so I'm
Yeah.
literally coming at it from an energy standpoint. And
Yeah.
yeah, I just want everyone to be happier, brighter, and lighter. And that's also what Christ wants for us too.
Right. Right.
So however that looks like at the end, we're focusing on your highest vibrations.
Yeah. No, I love that. And just like any parent, they just want you to be happy and to live your best life.
Yes, yes.
So I
100%
love
agree.
that.
I love it.
Oh, so fun. Okay. I don't have any more questions, but I feel like I want to keep talking to you.
I love this. No, you're amazing. This is
Thanks.
so fun.
Okay. Anything else?
I think we've covered so much. Just be happy. And
Yeah.
everyone's like, oh, and I know there's phrases of good vibes only, but like that's not it either because
Right.
emotions need to be shared. So sometimes we can be sad. What happened? The problem is when we're in like a season of sad and we don't know how to come out of it. And
Yeah.
that's honestly where it comes back to tuning forks because they can help jumpstart you back into a higher vibration.
Yeah.
But I just want to make this plug all emotions are neutral. Okay. They need to be shared. They need to be felt. And we can't just be happy all the time. We're not supposed to. Because if you're happy and laughing and giggling at a funeral, that's not appropriate. That's an appropriate time to be sad, to be
Right.
grieving, to have those strong, heartfelt moments. And there
Yeah.
are times to be angry too. Like, we're not supposed to stuff or like stifle anything. Like, we
Yeah.
need to express it, but we need to figure out what's the healthy way to express this. What's the healthy
Yeah.
reason to how did we get here in the first place? Are there things we could have done to avoid it? Like, there's just so many things, but
Yeah.
yeah, emotions are literally energy in motion. And so don't get stuck. I have so many clients who come in like, oh yeah, I store all my stress like right here. And I'm like, oh, what are you saving it for? Do you need a food storage collection of like stress? Do you think a stress will ever like not be available when you need it? And I always ask them like, oh, well, what are you storing it for? What are you saving it for? And it like throws them off. I'm like, literally stop storing it. Like just let it come in and let it flow back out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Physical ailments when you get stuck emotions. But
Yeah.
that's a whole different topic.
Oh, okay. If our viewers want to find you online, where can they find you? And I will also put links, but tell us where to
Awesome.
find you.
Yeah. So my business Instagram is Vibes of Light. It's vibes.of.light. And then my Facebook, my personal Facebook is so it's just Jill Serafina and Jill with an H. So it's JHILL.
Perfect. I love it. Thank you so much for jumping on and chatting with me today. You are so fun.
I love this so much. We can chat any day.
Perfect. All right. Thanks.
That's a wrap on this episode of Women Should Know. Did you love it? Then hit the subscribe button, leave a review, and share it with a friend. You can also find me on social media under Women Should Know because the conversation doesn't stop here. I'll see you next time. Bye!